If you like the flavors of Philly cheesesteaks, you're going to love today's recipe. I'm Christina from It Is a Keeper. I share tried and true recipes that anyone can make. Welcome to my kitchen. Today, I'm showing you how to make cheesesteak sliders that are insanely good. If you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I will be forever grateful. You'll also want to make sure to stay tuned to the end to learn my favorite variations to customize this recipe, and be sure to grab the full printable recipe in the video description below. So the first thing we need to do for our Philly cheesesteaks is we need to get the onions going. So here I have a hot skillet and I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of butter. If I can get them out of the bowl. Get those melting. And then to that we're going to add some olive oil. All right. Okay, now that our butter is melted, we're going to add some sliced onions. So here I have 2 sliced onions, about medium-sized onions. And I know it looks like a lot for sliders, but trust me, these will cook down. So I'm also going to season these. And this is really this is my all-purpose seasoning blend. This is really the longest part of the recipe, so we want to get this going first. So we're just going to get them all coated in the butter. We're going to let them start browning, cooking down a bit. This is definitely a step you could do ahead of time as well. So if you know you're going to be making these for dinner this week, you can do these onions like a day or two beforehand. Save yourself some time. That's what I like to do on the weekends. I like to prep my meals for the week. So this would be one of those steps I would do on the weekend. Okay, so once these start cooking down and getting nice and softened, we're gonna put a lid on them. And we're gonna let them hang out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these to the back stove so that I can move on with the rest of the recipe here while these cook. Okay, our onions are going on the back stove here. Every once in a while, I'm just gonna peek back there, look at them, give them a stir. But in the meantime, we're going to work on the steak part of our Philly cheesesteak. So I'm going to put the rest of my butter in this skillet and get it melted. Okay, so our butter is pretty much melted. To this, we're going to add some shaved ribeye. So a lot of times you can find this right at the grocery store, already shaved up and ready to go. It's super duper thin, and this is just what we're looking for. If you can't find steak that's sliced this thin in your meat department, you can just buy steak, and what I would do is freeze it for a little while, maybe like 30 minutes or so, and then just get a knife and really finely shave it up. So we're gonna put this in our skillet. This cooks in no time because it's so thin. All right. So I'm just spreading that out into an even layer, and then we're going to season it with some steak seasoning. So here I have my homemade steak seasoning, which I will share the recipe in the video description. It adds so much flavor. But another favorite, if you just want a store-bought steak seasoning, I love the Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse. That would be perfect on this. I'll put a link to that in the video description as well. So we're just gonna cook this down till our steak is cooked through. And like I said, it is not going to take long because it is so thin. Okay, so it looks like our beef is just about done. So here I have some paper towels bunched up. I'm going to just tip my pan to the side and get off any grease and fat that has accumulated. We don't want greasy sliders. And I'm going to set our beef aside while we work on our sauce. Onions are still going back here. They smell amazing. They're looking perfect. So we are almost there, friends. Okay, beef is done. Onions are finishing up. Now we need to make our sauce. So to our bowl, I'm going to add some melted butter. I prefer unsalted. You could use salted, whatever you'd like. And some crushed garlic. So I'm just going to put this through my garlic press. I love this garlic press. If you guys have watched my channel at all and I've cooked with garlic, you know this is my favorite. I'll put the link in the show notes. Here's why I love it. The peel comes right out, super easy. So we have 3 cloves here. That was 1. I already did these 2. So in they go. Then we're going to add some Dijon mustard. And some Worcestershire sauce. Brown sugar. Little bit of paprika. I'm using smoked paprika. Give it that smoky flavor. And I'm gonna add some minced parsley. I'm gonna reserve a little bit for some garnish at the end. We're gonna get this all stirred up to make our sauce. Super simple, but so much flavor. All right, this is looking perfect. We are ready to assemble our sliders. Okay, so I have all of our stuff lined up that we're going to use to build our sliders. So our steak is cooked. Guys, look at these onions. They're like perfection. Now, don't come at me because they're a little crispy. We like them like that. My husband would prefer if they were like all blackened and really, really crispy, but we're doing a little compromise thing here. You could take them off the heat sooner if you like them done less. Totally up to you. So the first thing we have are our slider rolls. And I like the Kings Hawaiian type rolls. So we're going to actually just leave them whole. You're not going to detach them. And we're going to remove them from the packaging. And we're going to slice them right down the middle. I'm actually gonna go this way. Leaving them completely attached. We want a row of tops and a row of bottoms. Voila, bottoms and tops. So we're gonna set the tops aside. In here on the bottom of our roll, we're going to pile on our cooked ribeye. So just in a single layer. I like to do this in a 13 by 9 baking dish because if things fall out or roll off to the side, we have some edges to catch it. Okay, next up, our sauce. So we're gonna use about half of this sauce. Give it another stir. Oh, it smells so yummy. And I'm just going to drizzle it on there. Perfect. Next up is our cheese. So here I'm using provolone cheese, just slices of provolone, and you want to put it in a single layer across the steak. Next up are our onions, our beautifully cooked onions. Okay, beautiful. So on top of this, we're going to carefully place our rolls. And then I'm just gonna use my spoon and smear the rest of this sauce right on top. Okay. That is all, my friends. We are going to pop this into a preheated oven and very patiently wait for them to finish baking. Very, very patiently. Oh, guys, look at these. All right, I am just going to finish it off with a sprinkling of fresh parsley here. I can't wait to dig into these. They're golden, they're ooey, they're gooey, they're deliciousness. I can't wait to dive in. Before we dig in, let me share some ways you can change things up a bit. First, when you're cooking the onions, throw in some bell peppers. I mean, peppers and onions are a match made in heaven. Next, you can switch things up completely by subbing the steak for shaved chicken. I've definitely seen that in the meat department at my grocery store. And last, you can make this true Philly style by adding some whiz, because a true Philly cheesesteak is made with Cheese Whiz. Now, enough chit chat. I can't wait a second more. I am going into these sliders. And I'm going right here for this corner one. All right. Ooh. All right, let's see here. I'm probably gonna burn my lips off. I don't care though. I mean, just look at that. Oof. All right, going in for the big taste test. Oh, these Philly cheesesteak sliders, you can taste the little bit of bite from the Dijon mustard, the sweetness from the brown sugar. It just mixes so nicely with those onions and the steak and the creamy provolone. No, one batch is never gonna fly in my house. These Philly cheesesteak sliders are definitely a keeper. I think you are going to love them. There are so many great slider recipes out there. I have a fantastic chicken bacon ranch slider recipe that's sure to have your family begging for seconds. You don't want to miss it. You can check it out here. I'll see you over there.